Hello, Signa members. My name is Helene Tenzer. I'm professor for international management at LMU Munich School of Management in Germany. Today, I want to share with you a very personal story of my own failures in academia, so you might feel a little less bad about your own failures. So on LinkedIn and other social media, we see basically only success stories. So everyone celebrates what they have achieved, show their publications, and we compare ourselves with others and feel very bad if we have setbacks, if we experience failures, because after all, everybody else seems to land one big publication after the other, right? So I was recently invited to an online seminar by a UK business school talking about research strategy for PhD students. And the host introduced me in this event saying they wanted to hear it from me because my publishing seemed so successful and so effortless. And I was completely taken aback. This is what my work looks from the outside, effortless. I thought this couldn't be any further from the truth. So I want to give you a backstage view here to what my publishing really feels like. So yeah, you have a counterpoint to all the success stories that you otherwise find. Let me show this to you with an example. With an example paper that took no less than 10 years to get published from the initial idea. It is this paper that you can find in the Journal of World Business that was co-authored with Markus Pudelko from Tübingen University and with Mary Selmabrun from the University of Minnesota. So I need to say up front, I totally love research. This is what I love doing. I think this is the best job we could conceivably have because I love digging in data sets, especially like qualitative interview-based textual data set, digging up stories, crafting storylines. So I really love what I'm doing. So yeah, to take the currently rather popular memes from the Barbie movie, this is basically what I looked like when I started into the new research idea in 2011 at the age of 29. I was super enthusiastic and I had the first draft ready together with Markus Pudelko in December 2011, just in time to submit it to the Academy of Management. And back then it was called The Impact of Language Barriers on Shared Mental Models in Multinational Teams. And we were immediately rewarded with success. Our submission was part of the AOM Best Paper proceedings. So what did we think? We thought, this is great stuff. This is awesome. It's going to land in a great journal. So we really felt good about what we had done. But we still took a lot of time to refine what we had written, to submit it to a 4-star journal, to Organization Science. So we really did our very best to polish it. And we got an R&R. I remember that this came in on January 8th, 2014, because this was the night I celebrated my 10th anniversary with my husband. So this came in just before the dinner. And I was kind of busy in my head all the time because the reviewers really wanted a lot. They wanted a complete overhaul of the paper. But hey, we had an R&R. And we tried our best. We really threw everything we had into this and resubmitted in February 2015. So they gave us 8 months because they wanted so much change. And we took even longer because we wanted to make it perfect. But what happened? In April 2015, we got a reject. And I looked like this because I thought, this can't be happening. We did everything they wanted. How can they reject it now? So this was incredibly hard. But hey, we don't give up, do we? So we knew that we had to do something different, that apparently we thought we had done everything, but if we had looked closely at the reviewer feedback, they wanted us to rewrite, not to rewrite our existing story, but to deliver a completely new story. So we changed our outcome construct. So no longer the impact of language barriers on shared mental models, but now the impact of language barriers on knowledge processing in multinational teams. So you see, we again took a lot of time to rewrite the thing from the ground and submitted it to the Journal of Management Studies. They kept us biting our nails pretty long, over half a year, until we finally got a revise and resubmit in June 2017. And this looked good. This looked tough, substantial, but doable. And shortly afterwards, because we had resubmitted the new story again to Academy of Management, we got a Best Paper award. So an Academy Award, so to say. So what did we think? Now, finally, we are on the right track. This is the right story. We have done a great job in rewriting. The R&R seems doable. We almost have that in our pocket, right? So a lot of work went into the revise and resubmit. The journal kept us biting our nails for another half year until we got the rejection again. So now Barbie isn't enough anymore to illustrate our despair. Now we needed the also very popular Robert J. Oppenheimer, because oh my God, this really felt even worse than the first time around. But yeah, giving up isn't an option. We tuned the story again, this time turning to the Journal of International Business Studies. I worked hard at this because I had my baby in the meantime. We submitted to JIBS when my boy was 5 months old. So you can imagine the juggling we did. And yeah, we got a revise and resubmit. Yeah, I'm shortening the story because it's starting to get boring, right? Repetitive again. We resubmitted and we got rejected at JIBS. Third journal, third time bombing. Yeah. We were really at a loss for words at that moment. But as promised, the story does have a happy ending that comes on the next slide. We submitted to the Journal of World Business next, pretty quickly this time around. Got a fast reply, an even faster revision, because this time the comments weren't so successful. And it was published. So we crossed the finish line after 10 years for this paper. And this felt really good because this had so many setbacks, so much pain, basically. It's so much time that went into writing and rewriting and hoping and nail biting. So bringing this across the line was really a triumph, right? But the best thing was the ultimate happy ending, that the paper was then later awarded the Best Paper Award, like for the best paper published in the Journal of World Business in 2021. So this was the ultimate happy ending to a really painful story. So we are proud that we pulled it through, but I think it's important to show the process because you don't typically see that kind of processes. Not everyone is so open about how often they fail. So yeah, that was the award. I think this is something that we can really learn from, and I remember that project in that instance frequently because yeah, it's happening again with new projects. And if you fail, if you have a rejection that you didn't anticipate, don't succumb to that idea that it's because you aren't good enough, because you aren't a good researcher, because you can't do things. It's often not about your failures. It's often basically in the system. I mean, the publication game is incredibly competitive. And the saying goes that if you aren't rejected regularly, you aren't trying ambitiously enough. So the publication game is about selection, about making it exclusive to raise a journal status. So rejections are part of the process. And don't take this too personally. Don't let it take away self-confidence from you. I think the key is picking yourself up again after the really big disappointments that we experience, and saying, okay, let's try to make the best of the feedback. So I'm saying, don't see it as your personal failure, but do take feedback. So do take the comments on board and try to really understand the comments. I think the first time round at Organization Science, we thought we had done everything the reviewers wanted, but actually they wanted more than what we did. They wanted us to write a completely new story, but we didn't listen. They actually said so, but we purposefully ignored that because we wanted to stick with the story we had. Maybe we could have saved ourselves a little trouble, a little time, a little pain and rejection if we had listened earlier. So ignore the bad feedback that could be considered below the belt, but do take good feedback on board. Be self-critical, but not too self-critical, because you are a competent researcher. You are at your institution because you can do it, because you know your stuff. So it's about perseverance, about pulling through, about about picking oneself up after painful setbacks. So I think this is a story of perseverance and resilience that we all need in the publication process. And I think it's helpful to know that it doesn't just happen to you. It happens to many others. I would say most, if not all, other scholars. But yeah, some are more open in sharing their failures than others. So in that spirit, be self-confident, keep on doing your work, and I wish you all the best in your own projects.